Welcome to the Friday Night Frenzy. He's Ross, I'm Rob, and we begin tonight's show with a Class 3A Top 10 matchup between West Lafayette and Yorktown.
The Red Devils were flying high after knocking off Central Catholic last week, 21-17. No time to celebrate, though, with Yorktown coming to town. The Tigers came into play ranked 8th and looking for a little payback after West Side ended their season last year in the sectional finals. West Lafayette hosting Yorktown. Game tied at 21 when I arrived, 14 seconds left in the first half, when Spencer Ronchetto comes up with the INT, and we are tied at 21 at the break. Second half action. On Yorktown's first drive, senior QB Riley Neal ran this play to perfection. All night long, he takes the handoff and goes off the left side and scores. 28-21 Tigers. At that point, they were just getting warmed up. As for the Red Devils, they answered. Mikey Kidwell hands the ball off to Travis Roll, and the junior does the rest. He goes 16 yards to the house, and we have ourselves a 28-28 ball game. But that's when the wheels fell off for RDP. Riley Neal rolls right, and he is staring down his receiver, but it doesn't matter. He hooks up with Carson Moore, and the Tigers take a 35-28 lead. On the Red Devils' next possession, they fumble, and Yorktown takes advantage on 4th and 10. Neal rolls left and buys enough time to find his wide-open receiver in the end zone for the touchdown. West Lafayette's season comes to a close. 48-35 is the final, which means no more Brunos in the press box, Rob.
Yeah, we're sad about that, and we're also sad for our friends at RDP. Central Catholic looking to avoid its first 3-game losing streak since the 2003 season. Haha, right? First CC drive of the night, Avery Denhart avoids the pressure. Hooks up with Luke Schrader across the middle. Schrader runs for about an extra 10 yards. Moments later, Jackson Anthrop gets the call. The youngest member of the Anthrop clan takes it right down the middle for the TD. Taylor quarterback, Malin Vasquez, rolls out to his left. He's rocked as he throws, and that's bad news for the Titans. Jacob Page gets the interception, and he's got blockers in front of him. He takes it back 65 yards to the house. 14-0 Knights following a CC safety. Now the Knights cash in again. Denhart dumps it off to Anthrop. He goes on to find the end zone. Rumor has it, 6 touchdowns in the first half for him tonight. The Knights roll 72-6. One of our favorites, head coach Kevin O'Shea, is in the building and will join us a little later to show. Coach, that was from Ruben.
I think Jackson Anthrop just scored again. I'm just saying. Down the road at Jeff, the Broncos facing 8th-ranked Lake Central. The Indians struck first. Ethan Darter finds Austin Atkins and lets his sophomore receiver do the rest. Check out the yards after catch as he dives in for the touchdown. 7-0 Tribe. The Bronco defense didn't go down without a fight, though. Check out Mitchell Becker recovering the fumble. The senior is fired up after a Jeff touchdown got called back due to an illegal formation. Jeff returns the favor as Desmond Wilson fumbles, fighting for the extra yards. Tough break for the Broncos, who were putting a good drive together. Speaking of a good drive, it's Ethan Darter going top shelf to Antoine Davis. The Broncos season comes to an end. Lake Central wins 41-6.
Staying in the NCC, Logan Sport hosting New Haven. The Berries looking for win number 3 on the season. Opening kickoff. It's a surprise onside kick. Xavier Luna gets the recovery right into his hands, and the Berries have the ball right off the bat. New Haven forced a 3-and-out, but the Berries with the ball on their next drive. And check out this tough running from Alex Brink. No Bulldogs able to take him down. Finally going to run out of room on the sideline. A pickup of 30 yards for the Berries.
Were you nervous?
Just get off of me. Yeah, it was far enough away. I wasn't too nervous. Difference in this one, New Haven's ability to finish drives. Tremont Jackson takes the handoff, breaks it outside, beats everyone at the goal line for a 14-0 lead. New Haven will go on to win 38-14.
The undefeated and number 1 ranked Rensselaer Bombers at home against Hammond Bishop Knoll. Bombers up 14-0. Make that a 16-0 game as the snap sails over the Bishop Knoll's QB's head and rolls out of the end zone. Bishop Knoll punting to the Bombers following the safety. Garrett Eldridge practically runs in a straight line down the field, and he even bumps into his own guy, but that's not going to stop him. The punt return extends the lead to 23-0. Dylan Wright working out of the gun. He fakes the handoff, and Ruben Juarez Wright instead launches downfield to Ab Kiger. Check out the commanding stiff arm and he is gone. And they weren't finished. Late second quarter, the Bombers give it to Rylan Arhood for the 11-yard score. My dad's happy tonight, Rob. His Bombers win 67-6.
I have a feeling they're just getting started. Doug Nelson and the Benton Central Bison on the road at North Putnam. The Bison came out of the gates like they're running at Churchill Downs. How about that?
Ooh.
Colton Tucker takes the snap, has plenty of time to find junior receiver Mason Cooley for the 59-yard strike
the stretch
to
he comes.
open the first quarter. And look at that man go. The Bison take a 7-0 lead. However, this game would have more turnovers than your local bakery. Freshman quarterback Hayden Rudes throws a deep ball. People in the studio like that one, but does not see the 6'2" sophomore.
Was that
Jacob Metzger.
Kevin O'Shea may have just left the building. Was that an apple turnover or a cherry turnover?
Moral of the story here, lots of turnovers. Benton Central with a big night. Kenneth Munson fumbles the ball right after the interception. Cougars recover. BC eventually regains control. That circus act right there and appears in front of us. And look at Matson again. This time offensively, maintain the possession there. Benton Central snaps a 7-game losing streak. 21-15 is the final. How about that? Bison moving on. 6 games down and 8 to go. Coming up after the break, we'll make stops at Delphi, Carroll, North Montgomery, North White, Fountain Central, Tri-County, and West Central.
Props to you for keeping it together there. I couldn't have done that. Twin Lakes, where the Indians were in action against the Rochester Zebras. The Friday Night Frenzy will be right back.
Night Frenzy on News 18. High school football from where you live.
Welcome back to the Frenzy. We start the second half of our show with a matchup at Twin Lakes.
The Indians came into the year talking about winning championships. As far as a sectional championship, the first team in their way, the Rochester Zebras. And that is right. I did say the Zebras. Picking things up with the home team, Chris Goodlow takes the ball for a gain of 20 yards before being dragged down by 3 Zebras. Later in the drive, Indian quarterback Blake Bennington doesn't wait for a runner. He does that on his own, going into the end zone, growing his team's lead with under 2 minutes to go in the half. With 1:45 left, the Zebras toss the ball off and go for the reverse, or no, not quite. Looks like we got faked out on this play. It happens, along with the Indians' defense. Jacob, how does Shell? That's my best guess of that. It's the 40, 30, 20, 10, all the way into the end zone, although not as fast as I just said that. For an 80-yard run, give his team the lead. Time winding down in the half. Blake Bennington looks deep, tosses the long ball, and teammate Bryce Bennington gets open to make the catch, giving his team a chance to recapture the lead. Very next play, Blake Bennington looks to go deep again and hurls a pass, finding who else but the other Bennington, once again inside the 10-yard line, and he's fired up with that play, which would set up an Indians touchdown. But Rochester outplays the Indians in the second. Twin Lakes falls 31-24.
Josh Strasser and the Delphi Oracles trying to get back to 500, hosting Southmont. First drive for the Mounties. Nathaniel Farabee powers it in for the TD. He would have 2 in the first half. Oracles ball now. QB Weston Wendell dumps it off to Tyler Ross, who makes it look easy. Delphi was down 14-7 at that point in the first quarter. To the second quarter we go. Mountie QB Cam Chad launches it to Jared Todd for the huge catch, and Southmont converts on 3rd and long. Solid snag, weak celebration. Delphi now down 21-7 until Wendell hits Ross again for the second of 3 touchdowns the duo would have in the first half. Delphi wins 34-21. The party is at the Garden Gate Tea House tonight. Coach Strasser, he knows what I'm talking about.
Was that you or Paul?
That's his mom's place.
The South Newton Rebels on the road at Carroll, with the Cougar watching from Pride Rock. Last minute of the first half, South Newton's John Dafsick hits Neil Gesswein for the score that would make it 26-21 at the half. First possession of the second for Carroll. Johnny Oval hits a huge gain. That's enough for a first down as he gets slung down there. Same drive, Carroll quarterback Jared Miller takes it himself, initiates a rugby scrum, and falls over the goal line for a touchdown, losing his helmet in the effort. But the Rebels would hang around as Dafsick going to find Craig Wheelock in the back of the end zone to make it. That's a nice little toss.
See the pump fake?
3-point game at that point. It's college stuff right there. But the Cougars would withstand the Rebels, winning by a final of 45-29.
Western Boone and North Montgomery squaring off for the second time in 3 weeks, and we had some drama. Second half action stars quarterback Nathaniel Bay drops back and airs this one out to Riggs Baxter for the score. Tie ball game, 20-all. Chargers would answer, though. Bailey Adams rolls out and slings it across the field to Vince Gwynn. He takes it in for 6. Chargers would go for 2 and fail. Remember that. 4 minutes to go now. Bay bobbles the snap and then airs it out to Baxter again. I'm getting too old for this, Riggs. Did I sell that well, Rob? Western Boone would add the extra point and exact some revenge. They win this one by a final 27-26.
That was a good one. North White hosting Frontier. The Vikings won the Week 5 meeting 47-27, and this game looked to be even worse for the Falcons. Junior QB Luke Diener rolls wide to toss to a wide-open Jared Shane. This midfield catch grants the Vikings a smooth 7 points. After the kickoff, the Falcons just could not keep their wings on the ball, and they fumble on the Vikings' own 20-yard line.
Got their wings clipped.
That's right. With seconds left in the third period, North White kicks a field goal. North White secured the season sweep, pillaging the Falcons 45-0.
Attica on the road at Fountain Central. The Red Ramblers won the Week 5 meeting 39-26. First quarter action. Red Ramblers punting. And you know what's coming next, Rob? Off the bounce, Brad Slavens is thinking about it, and I'm thinking that's a Twin City Collision Repair Sports Crunch nominee. Second quarter now. Mustang Senior Kobe Pierce rolls, isn't finding anyone, buys time, and somehow gets this one off to Thad Crane. Thad'll do it, kid. Thad will do it. Mustangs up 13-0. Attica looking to answer. Carson Davis catches this one out in the flats. Stiff arms one defender and dives in for the pylon. It wouldn't be enough, however. Fountain Central goes on to win 49-21.
Mike Johnson and the Pioneer Panthers at Tri-County. Things started out well for the Cavaliers, with quarterback Blake Justice taking it on his own, running past the defense, the outside, inside the 10, helped set up the first score of the game. But the Panthers would respond, and we expected that, with a toss to Keith Nyes, who accelerates and goes untouched all the way down the field to even the score at 7 in the first quarter. Later in the quarter, Pioneers defense steps up with Caleb Kinley running over and sacking Blake Justice, and the Pioneer offense would take over from there, scoring on plays like this pass from Sam Kaiser to Peyton Smith, who runs in for the easy score. Pioneer picks up the 69-14 victory. They're moving on.
Winamac on the road at West Central. The Warriors won the regular season meeting 53-22 right out of the gate. Matthew Shorter turns on the gas and gets the ball all the way to the 2-yard line. It's caught from behind there. Another huge play right here. QB Jack DeGroot launches one into darkness. Luke Pugh gets his hands on it. No big deal, he says. And after the TD, Winamac pulls a fast one, a sweet fake kick. QB Jack DeGroot psychs out everyone and tosses it to Matt Shorter for a sweet 2-point conversion. Winamac shuts down the Trojans 64-0.
That's all 14 games of highlights. Coming up, we have the always popular Coach's Corner.
That's right. Central Catholic head coach Kevin O'Shea back in the building after Rob's joke there, and he's ready to talk about his Knights. That's coming up next. Welcome back. Head coach Kevin O'Shea joins us in studio.
And you literally did leave the studio when I made that bad joke, right?
Had to.
Bad?
So did Ruben.
All right. Well, you guys had a good, dominating win tonight. What'd you think of you guys tonight?
I like the way we responded. We had a couple of tough weeks playing two excellent ball clubs. I think we learned a lot about ourselves, and if we can continue to improve the way we did from last week to this week, hopefully we can make a run and have an opportunity to keep going deep in the playoffs.
You're at Delphi next week. Just talk about the matchup, your second with the Oracles.
Well, it's always tough to play a team a second time, and Josh tends to have his teams get a little bit better each and every week. When you look at last year's sectional, when they made it to the finals after having a rough stretch early in the year, he had those kids playing real well against Tipton. And so we expect that same type of game here next week.
And just real quickly, sectional titles obviously didn't happen last year with Tipton, but it's kind of become an expectation for you guys. How much would that mean to these guys again to get that back?
I think just to get started again, just to get our feet back on the ground and just get going. And you win, it takes a lot to win a sectional. When you've got 3 ball games that you have to win, that's the toughest thing to do in high school football. Then it's a 1-game regional and a 1-game semi-state and the state championship game. So, we want to, we started 0-0. during this time, and we're 1-0 now, and the goal next week is go 2-0.
Cool.
Coach, thank you very much for being
Thank
here.
you,
We
guys.
appreciate
Congratulations
it.
tonight.
First
Appreciate
appearance
it.
on the show this year.
That's bizarre.
Always fun.
That wraps up tonight's show. We'll see you next week with the semifinal action round of all the sectionals. Have a great night.